A Double doing a video cast for you, just a little rough draft of trying to put something together and see, what it would look like. We're trying to put something together to shoot out to the public um, because this might be something that we end up doing in the coming weeks. Um, so let's dive right in, pick a topic, and go from there. Topic number one. So essentially, you know, Big Dame and I've been talking a lot about what's going on with it when people look back and try to assess greatness, right? So, um, you'll hear the GOAT conversation between obviously basketball, LeBron, Jordan. People have debated the GOAT conversation, Tom Brady versus Joe Montana, although people have basically said, with Brady's winning 7, he is clearly the GOAT. Um, and so, and there are countless other areas where people might want to throw in a GOAT conversation. Here's where Big Dame and I have landed um, in kind of coming together, coming up with a baseline for this, which I think is a bigger topic for conversation, and that is how much is really relegated to the eye test, and how much do you weigh on the numbers, right? The eye test being, what did you see, what did you experience with wherever you end up landing on the conversation. So let's take the Jordan LeBron conversation. If you were in the heart of the Jordan era, if that was the meat and potatoes of your experience, the eye test for you is going to be, some of those monumental moments. It's Jordan switching hands to win that ring over the Lakers. It's Jordan dunking on Ewan. It's Jordan hitting that shot over Elo. It's all the great moments you experience with Jordan, and those feelings that you may have related to those great moments that you experienced real time, combined with what he was able to accomplish and the numbers that probably will give you more of an inclination to say Jordan is the GOAT. Um, if the meat and potatoes of your journey is seeing LeBron and the greatness of his story, maybe a lot of your eye test moments are going to lend you to favor LeBron in that conversation. But I think in the end, like there is no, I mean, I think you probably would conclude there is no absolute truth about that GOAT, right? I mean, that's what makes it a meaningful conversation is you can split hairs. Where are you going to fall on this? Is going to continue and ultimately be about what matters most to you. Um, so it leads us to when it comes down to greatest of all time in any one area, be it sports, be it business, politics, social issue, whatever, right? It's the greatest of all time. How can you have that conversation without creating a common denominator baseline, right? I think you see that sometimes now. People are Jay Z, is it Tupac, is it Biggie? Who's the greatest rapper of all time, greatest DJ of all time? Is there a place that do we really as a society want a one surefire answer, like it's absolutely that undeniably, or is the value in the conversation, right? When you raise these things up and you bring out the topic to be discussed, is that more valuable than landing in an absolute truth about it, right? um, and I think there's value in that. I think for me, I'm of the opinion that the best part about the GOAT conversation is the conversation, people talking. When Big Dame and I were talking about this, what we found is that we ended up pulling on all this other stuff, all these other data points, all these other moments. And there was the exchange of my experiences and his experiences. And there's a credibility of an argument. Um, but we also are able to appreciate that each of us has moments of history that we experienced that we then appreciate. And I'm able to grow from what he experienced that I didn't. And I believe he's able to grow from what I experienced that he didn't. Um, and I think that's the beauty of a GOAT conversation. Um, let's take music. If you, who's the greatest rapper of all time? Um, there's obviously some things that a person could say that would nullify their debate. If you were picking up some, I could throw names out, but I won't. But if you would pick up some regional dude that, maybe 1,000 people might remember a song by, no, right? That's not going to be in that conversation. But when we talk about the popular names that are going to be a part of that conversation, uh, I think you get beyond simply, he has the best metaphors, best bars, best beats, top number one, that most number ones, into, what is it about that artist? What is it about that song? What is it about those albums that spoke to you? It's kind of what we can learn about one another, which leads me to the bigger point. I think as a society, sometimes we are moving to places where we are just about, post and tweets and responses online, versus getting into real meaningful conversations with one another, and that's what differentiates us from artificial intelligence. It's artificial intelligence and other forms of technology are wonderful advancements because they shorten the distance between where I may be physically in the world and someone else. And because we can bridge that gap, we can engage with one another in debates. We can share ideals. We can exchange ideas. All that's cool, right? I can learn something new that I might not otherwise be able to learn. I can experience something that I might not otherwise be able to experience. But the power of us as human beings is when we can make connection and engage with one another and do that same kind of um, bonding and growth in close proximity and real conversation and dialogue, um, and leverage the human nature of intelligence and experience um, that we can't get from AI. Maybe the day will come, maybe it's closer than we ever knew, where artificial intelligence can mimic those things, but we're not there today. And so I'm encouraging, have as many go conversations as you can with coworkers, with family members, with neighbors. The best coffee shop in your neighborhood? Who had the best, tea house? Who had the best place for Sunday dinners, for afternoon brunches? And, take what you can get online. There's a cool brother I follow on TikTok who does Bay Area brunches. It's the first date guy, and I'm gonna find his name and tag him in this post. Um, there's all kind of things that we can leverage, but as much as we value the online experience for bubbling up some of these conversations, don't forget to do the most important thing: have the conversations, engage with people. Um, you may not land on a one true goat answer, like an absolute right. This is it. But wherever you land, it'll be a meaningful place as long as you did it with someone else, and you grow. All right? Peace.